Greetings again from the Boogie Down South Bronx. This is Jeffrey Cortez, and I'll be reading Chapter 8 from my book, Memoirs of Pastor Rajatabla, Pentecostal, Private Eye. All right, if you would be interested in buying a paperback version or Kindle version, it is available on Amazon. If you would rather order for pickup at a local Barnes & Nobles, you could go to the Barnes & Nobles website and order it online for pickup. All right. Those of you that may have missed some other chapter readings of this book, I do have them uploaded in YouTube, all right, and also in the description in YouTube, my YouTube videos, there is a description of the intentions of this particular book, as well as where you may purchase it. All right, so just a brief explanation of the format. You probably have heard it before my other videos. Raja is the nickname of the pastor of the small storefront Pentecostal church in a metropolitan area, and he is sought over by members and leaders of other congregations, nearby congregations, and also community members of the neighborhood regarding concerns, whether based on real occurrences or based on gossip or hearsay. So he goes pro bono, free, he doesn't collect an offering, to figure out the mystery. Okay, so when he finds out what really happened, he writes in his journal, which he has nicknamed Tabla, and he writes Dear Tabla, and he puts his findings there in his journal. All right, so we're in Chapter 8, and Chapter 8 is Gangster Grandma. Gangster Grandma. And the introductory Bible verse is from Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Okay, so let's find out about this gangster grandma. Church missionaries were and are the backbone of many small churches. These weren't vacationing males traveling to exotic lands and coming back with tales of thousands of souls getting saved in return for a hefty love offering. These were usually strong females full of nitty-gritty love for their communities and always gave Christ the credit. Sister Misericordia was one of these. She always found ways to help needy families who often, in curious gratitude, would drop by the church to attend a few services. Some of them would move on, and some of them would eventually stay as church members. Recently, Misericordia has been helping folks in the community as well as those in the church experiencing issues of domestic violence, encouraging them and helping them navigate systems in order to get them to safe places. She reminded Raja of his own belated grandma. Dear Dabla. One 1968 summer day, my grandmother, church missionary Hermana Ramona Guerrera de Dios, took notice that one of her converts, Inocencia, had not been attending church for a period of a week. I accompanied my abuela, grandma, to the supermarket to pick up some groceries. After shopping, we took a short walk over to Inocencia's home. Abuela knocked on the door and Inocencia answered. Abuela looked at her and inquired, "What happened?" There stood Inocencia, single parent of 5 children, sporting a huge black and blue eye. She let us in and she told us an astounding story while she served us coffee and crackers. Apparently, she was being bullied by the building's superintendent's wife, who for some reason took a huge dislike to Inocencia. She had physically attacked Inocencia and left her with bruises. Inocencia did not report it to the police and had been staying home fearfully, avoiding another unprovoked attack. Then I saw it in Grandma's eye. It was there in almost incarnate form, the life-living manifestation of her last name, Guerrera de Dios, warrior of God. She gently whispered assurances into Inocencia's ears and then laid her prayer warrior hands over her. In her intercessory prayer, she quoted an Old Testament phrase from Amos chapter 5, verse 24. "But let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." That summer evening after church, my grandmother took upon herself to bring a group of church members to a building where a bruised-up sister from our church lived and was being bullied by the super's wife. On the way there, I recognized the buildings and my hands got cold and clammy. On the stoops in front of the entrance, there was a rough, tough crowd listening to music, cursing, and drinking beer. Abuela and I walked toward Inocencia's first floor apartment, while the rest of the church members spoke and tried to evangelize the rowdy group. When Inocencia answered the door, Grandma inquired who the bully lady was, and she pointed out a tall, big-boned woman standing with the thuggish group. Abuela approached the lady and asked if she could speak with her for a moment away from the group. The Godzilla body-typed woman followed Grandma halfway through the lobby and listened to Abuela. She looked at Abuela's huge Bible and began to tell her in a mocking manner that she had no use for religion. Then I saw the carnage coming. Inocencia was sneaking behind the lady, and all of a sudden she sucker punched the giant in the back of the head with a rabbit punch, then followed up with a couple of kidney blows. The stunned woman turned around to see a powerful featherweight boxing Inocencia. Immediately, Abuela dropped her Bible and held the big woman in a full behind-the-neck Nelson hold, while Inocencia followed up with a flurry of body shots. Abuela then yelled, "Enough!" released the lady, and quickly intercepted Inocencia's throat punch setup. The lady then began yelling and screaming that this was a setup. To this day, I don't quite know how we were able to leave that area alive and without one hair of our bodies damaged. All I know is that from there, that day, on that Goliath of a woman did not bother Inocencia again. Inocencia now happily enjoyed strutting her way over to church without fear. Bendición y bendiciones.